how mental blindness disease is affecting your life and business and how to avoid it. Wayne Dyer taught us that no matter how much we protest, we are responsible for our lives. And we know that our thoughts compound and produce results in our lives whether we like it or not. I mean, just consider right now the things that you do every single day. I mean, even if you're thinking about just common things like putting a post up on LinkedIn or one of the social networks, the amount of thought that goes into it and the amount of preparation. Preparation matters because your thoughts are going to compound and produce some result, just like an investment would. So when you buy, let's say, a real estate investment, you make a real estate investment and you buy that investment, you expect it to compound. You expect it to expand and increase and grow in value, and it will. And so do your investments in other things as well. Not always, but you expect them to, and they will compound. So the same thing happens to our thoughts. They compound. So someone who receives lots of accolades and lots of appreciation and lots of validation, they will become more confident, more courageous, more bold, and will do things that others wouldn't risk doing. Just like we saw people like Steve Jobs. If you ever watched his story, you saw that he started up a company, started with a bunch of friends. They started making computers in their house, and next thing you know, they're being offered an IPO with a company, or they were being offered a deal with a board, and they were able to get $300,000 in investment to start building their computers and then selling more and more and more. So do you see how it kept compounding and compounding? And within a few years, they had sold thousands of computers and made millions of dollars and had a tremendous impact. And all because they kept compounding their efforts and their thoughts, especially their thoughts. And that really matters. So coming back to what I said earlier, mental blindness disease. Mental blindness disease is when we don't pay attention to our thoughts. We don't think about what we're thinking about. Most people don't think about what they're thinking about. And that's where the problem lies. Because if we don't realize what we're thinking and think into the results that we want, then we will hit terror barriers. My mentor Bob Proctor taught us about terror barriers. Terror barriers is like a wall that you run into, and if you can't climb over that wall, you just keep crashing into it, and it's fear and it's doubt and it's worry, and you keep hitting it and you never get over the wall. But if you wanted to get over the wall, then you have to think differently. You have to take a different approach. Maybe you hire some help, but you need to do something different. You need to think differently, do different things, and you need to stop doing old things and start doing something new and better and different. And you have to think about what you want, ask for what you want, seek what you want. Because when you do that, your thoughts will compound. They will keep adding up and adding up and adding up, and then you will get what? You will get evidence. You will see the results of your thoughts, of your actions. That's input. When you think things and when you take action, that's input. The output is the reaction that you get. We know that there's cause and effect. We learned that through Einstein and many others, that when you act and do something out in the world, you will get a reaction. It's always going on. We see this all the time. It doesn't matter whether you're driving your car or whether you're doing something in business or online. You take action, you get a reaction. If you are negative in your attitude, and you'll get a negative reaction automatically, likely. And if you're positive, then you will draw positive people towards you and people that can help you grow. And just know that your thoughts are always compounding. They're always adding up. They always do. There's no question about it. But don't let mental blindness disease catch you and hold you hostage. Because if you do, then that's what's going to hold you back. And just so you know, the origins of mental blindness disease are from when you were born until the age of 7 or 8 years old. So the reason why it's that period of time is because you aren't reasoning until that age. You are in a hypnagogic trance. That's what Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about. We're in a hypnagogic trance. We don't have the ability to reason. We don't have the ability to determine what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad for us? We have no idea. We have no concept. We don't reason. We have a reasoning faculty, but we're not using it until about 7 or 8 years old. That's when it actually turns on. The switch flips on and we can start reasoning. But until that point, nothing. We just look up at our parents, and we see what they're doing, and it doesn't matter whether they're drinking and driving or smoking cigarettes or gambling or doing, and swearing, whatever they're doing, that's right, and that's normal, and that's good. Now, you might have decided in your life right now, you don't want to do some of the things your parents were doing. Why? Different generation, different attitude, different perspective. So you want to be yourself. You want to be a unique version of yourself. And that's where you have to go against this mental blindness disease. You have to go against the grain of you being conditioned by them and thinking like them and having beliefs, not to blame them, but just to say, okay, I learned that, but I don't like it. I would rather be a better version of myself. And if you want to be a better version of yourself, Dr. Benjamin Hardy talks about your future self and developing your future self. He has a whole program on it. I'll put a link in the description below. But if you want to be a better version of yourself, then you have to focus on the better version of yourself. And if you don't know who that better version is, make it up. Make up your future self. Think about what you like in your future, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what kinds of things you'll be doing, where you'll be going, the kinds of things you'll enjoy, what really makes you satisfied in your life, what will you be doing. And when you do that, then you can get over some of the reasoning that you may, or things that you might not have reasoned, and you will start thinking differently, doing different things. And you will then start shifting what you learned, your beliefs, your habits, your practices. James Clear in his book, Atomic Habits, awesome solutions for creating habits. I mean, if you want to create a habit, then you should write down what it is that you're going to do. I will behavior at a certain time. And if you want to add something to that, in a certain place. And that's an easy way to overcome habits, old habits. And once you do that, then you can make change. That is changing habits from the outside in, though. That's not from the inside out. Inside out would be changing your words, using affirmations. And if you want a great affirmation tool, it's called prompter.ca, like teleprompter, but just prompter, prompter.ca. That's an awesome tool for affirmations. You just have to commit to it. It's a daily thing. But the thing is, once you start programming your mind for potential, because you have great potential, you're just inside of a box, though. You're inside of your comfort zone and you're hitting up against a glass ceiling, which is your potential. And you're working at your full capacity, your full potential, but you're not going beyond that. Why? Because you need to think differently, do different things, stop doing old things and start doing new things. That's the recipe for change. And you can take whatever approach works for you. You might be more auditory, or you might like writing and journaling like I do, but you get to choose whatever it is that you want to do. You have to start making the shift from the inside out. Outside in works too, just longer. It's working on changing your behavior. But the bottom line is mental blindness disease is in every single one of us. You can see it everywhere. You can see how people respond and react to things, and how they don't know what they're doing sometimes, or don't know why they're being triggered, but they're being cued somehow and they're being triggered and they're reacting, not responding. That would be with thought. So they're reacting, and so they get circumstances in their life that keep repeating over and over again, and they keep wondering, why do I keep bumping into these people? Or why do I keep having these same circumstances? Or why do I invite people into my life that don't have the money to pay for my services? Whatever the problem is, it's something that's repeating over and over and over again. And until we ask the question, how can I overcome this? Then you're going to keep inviting those people into your life, because that's called cognitive bias. We basically invite people into our lives that are repeating, that are confirming. It's confirmation bias. They're confirming what we believe. Because Dr. Joseph Murphy said that what we think and feel, we create, and we create what we believe. What we think and feel, we create what we believe. So what you're thinking and feeling on a daily basis is going to create a belief, and it's going to be reaffirmed every time you keep repeating those patterns. And one last thing. If you want to change those patterns, you can do what Louise Hay says. You can talk to yourself, you can talk to the deeper part of your mind, your subconscious mind, and you can say, I'm willing to let go of the patterns of thought that have been holding me back and creating my circumstances right now. And as soon as you make that statement, you will feel it. You'll feel the shift. You'll feel the change. So you can change this, and I would love for you to make a difference in this world by squashing mental blindness disease, because it's in every single one of us. We just don't know it, and it hasn't been named before. I coined that term. It's not a medical term, but if you want to squash mental blindness disease, you have to take some action on a consistent basis. So I hope this was a valuable video for you. If it was, just comment below. Otherwise, we'll speak soon.